It was just another Tuesday, or so I thought. The clock on my office wall ticked agonizingly slow, each second a tiny eternity. I'd been wrestling with a massive project deadline, pulling late nights for what felt like a month. But today, a small miracle happened. My boss, Mr. Henderson, clapped me on the back around 3 p.m. "Mark," he said with a rare smile, "go home. You've earned it. See you tomorrow." I was stunned. Leaving early? It felt like winning the lottery. My first thought was Sarah. My amazing, beautiful Sarah. We'd been married for 5 years, and she was the light of my life. I pictured her at home, probably curled up with a book, maybe a little lonely. The idea hit me like a bolt of lightning. I could surprise her. I imagined her face, the way her eyes would light up when I walked through the door hours before she expected me. I decided to make it extra special. I stopped by that little flower shop on the corner of Elm and Main, the one she always admired. I picked out a bouquet of her favorite stargazer lilies, their sweet fragrance filling my car. Then I swung by the bakery for that ridiculously decadent chocolate lava cake she loves. The plan was perfect: flowers, cake, and a quiet, romantic evening with my wife. I was practically buzzing with excitement. Driving home, I felt a warmth spread through my chest that had nothing to do with the afternoon sun. I thought about how lucky I was. Sarah was my rock. When my dad got sick last year, she was the one holding my hand through every tearful phone call and hospital visit. When I was stressed about work, she was the one who would listen for hours, making me feel like I could conquer anything. We were a team, an unbreakable unit. Or so I believed. I pulled into our driveway, my heart doing a little happy dance. I grabbed the flowers and the cake, balancing them carefully as I crept to the front door like a ninja on a mission of love. I wanted to capture the moment of pure surprise. I quietly unlocked the door, turning the knob with practiced silence. The house was quiet, just as I expected. I tiptoed into the foyer, a huge grin plastered on my face. "Honey, I'm home!" I called out, my voice full of glee. The silence that answered was immediate and heavy. It wasn't the usual comfortable quiet of our home. It was different, a little unnerving. I set the cake and flowers down on the entryway table. "Sarah?" I called again, a little louder this time. Still nothing. A flicker of unease started to dance in my stomach. Then I heard it. A muffled sound from upstairs, from our bedroom. It sounded like a low murmur, a hushed voice. Maybe she was on the phone? I started up the stairs, my steps suddenly feeling heavy. The unease grew into a cold knot of dread. As I got closer, the murmur became clearer. It wasn't just Sarah's voice. There was another voice, a man's voice, low and deep. My blood ran cold. My mind started racing, trying to come up with a logical explanation. A repairman? A friend visiting? But why were they in our bedroom? And why were their voices so intimate? I reached the top of the stairs, my hand hovering over the doorknob to our bedroom. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears, a frantic drumbeat of denial and fear. I took a deep breath, pushed the door open, and my world shattered into a million pieces. There on our bed, the bed we shared, was my Sarah. And she wasn't alone. She was with a man I didn't recognize, tangled in our sheets. The scene burned itself into my memory, every sickening detail etched into my mind forever. The look of shock and panic on her face when she saw me, the stranger's frantic scramble to cover himself, the betrayal that sucked all the air from my lungs. The stargazer lilies and the chocolate cake downstairs suddenly seemed like a cruel joke. The surprise I had so carefully planned had backfired in the most devastating way possible. I had left work early to surprise my wife, but the real surprise was waiting for me. It was a surprise that would change everything, a wound so deep I wasn't sure it would ever heal. I didn't shout. I didn't scream. I just stood there, frozen in the doorway. The silence in the room now screaming louder than any words could. The man, a complete stranger, grabbed his clothes and practically ran past me, avoiding my eyes. He was a coward, but the real betrayal wasn't from him. It was from her. Sarah, my Sarah, sat on the edge of the bed clutching a sheet to her chest, tears streaming down her face. "Mark," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It's not what you think." But it was. It was exactly what I thought. It was the ultimate betrayal. The foundation of our life, everything I thought was real and true, had just crumbled to dust around me. I turned without a word, walked back down the stairs, past the beautiful flowers and the celebratory cake. I grabbed my car keys from the table, my hand shaking uncontrollably. As I walked out the door, I didn't look back. I couldn't. The home we built together no longer felt like mine. It was a crime scene, and my heart was the victim. I drove for hours with no destination in mind. The city lights blurred through my tear-filled eyes. Every memory we ever shared was now tainted, poisoned by the image in that bedroom. The laughter, the promises, the I love yous. Were any of them real? How long had this been going on? Who was this woman I had married? The questions swirled in my head, a hurricane of pain and confusion. Finding out about an affair is a unique kind of pain. It's not just about the act itself. It's about the lies, the deception, the complete annihilation of trust. It makes you question your own judgment, your own reality. For anyone who has gone through this, you know what I'm talking about. It feels like a part of you has died. That night was the longest of my life. But as the sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, a new feeling started to emerge from the wreckage. Resolve. I wasn't going to let this destroy me. I deserved better. I deserved honesty, loyalty, and real love. The road ahead was going to be incredibly difficult, filled with lawyers and heartbreak, and dividing up a life I thought we'd share forever. But it was also a road toward healing, toward rediscovering myself, and toward a future that was truly my own. This experience taught me a brutal but valuable lesson. Sometimes, the people you trust the most are the ones who can hurt you the deepest. But it also taught me about my own strength, my own resilience. If you're going through something similar, please know you are not alone, and you have the strength to get through it. It's a painful journey, but it is possible to heal and to find happiness again. A happiness that is genuine and built on a foundation of truth. Thank you for listening to my story. It's not an easy one to tell, but sharing it is part of my healing process. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories about navigating life's toughest challenges. Your support means the world. Take care of yourselves and remember your worth.